Jason Eisener. Thank you so much for sitting around, guys.
It's all yours. Ask this man whatever.
Ask me anything.
This gentleman here.
Yes. Oh, it was a pleasure. Like I said, I grew up being such a fanboy of him, and it was so nerve-wracking having him to come, and I'm just this kid going to be directing one of my idols, and I was so nervous, but I had seen the show that Rugger worked on called Film Factory, which is a show he does in the Netherlands where he helps produce young filmmakers' first short films, and I just saw how like giving and the guidance he was giving the filmmakers on those sets. But I didn't know if it was just a show because it was a TV show. But when he came to Nova Scotia and became a part of the team, it was just such a pleasure. The crazier we went, he just loved that. He said he felt like a naughty little kid making this movie, and so the crazier we went, he just kept pushing us to go as crazy as we could. When we made that original trailer, we quickly plotted out like a little treatment as to what we thought the feature film would be. And so when it came time to actually bang out a treatment for the film, it didn't really take that long, but it's turned into like a completely different beast from that original draft, but it helped to get the ball rolling and spark ideas. Yes, when I was making that original trailer, I was working in a comic book video game store at the time, and Dave was just one of these guys who would come in, play video games and read comics, and he spent a lot of his life just living on the streets. And Dave, he was hit by an 18-wheeler, a drunk driver, when he was 18. And it destroyed his hip, and he's had a hip replacement. So that limp you see in that original trailer is his real limp. Well, I've said I feel like the movie kind of starts off as if it's like in the 70s, and it's like the hobo's taking his journey from the 70s right into the 80s. And so I would love to make the 70s hobo movie someday, but just naturally, I'm a kid of the 80s, and so it just felt natural to make my first feature film kind of like an 80s movie.
And the lighting, really, it's like stage fright, isn't it? You gave it some light.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly what it was.
Well, Slick and Ivan are kind of like an evil version. I don't know if you guys know of this character called Captain N, who was a Nintendo character. He's kind of like our evil version of Captain N. And Drake, he was always, originally I thought I really wanted to cast Jake the Snake Roberts. He was an 80s wrestler. But that just wasn't going to work out. And then I saw Brian Downey's audition tape, and it just blew me away. And Brian Downey, he stars in a TV show that was also shot back home called Lex, which is a sci-fi show. And he rocked his audition, and he took the character in a place where I'd never imagined. And he is really, he made that character. He's the reason the Drake is the Drake. Kareem is, he knows the genre inside and out, and so what's so great about working with Kareem, I could just say, hey, make this look like the bar scene in Savage Streets, and he just like automatically gets it. I met Kareem when I made the original Hobo trailer. It played in Toronto, and I got to meet him up there. My producer also worked on Subconscious Cruelty. It was his first job, and so he's known Kareem for quite some time, and Kareem is, he's so passionate and he's so confident, and I just thrive off that, especially his confidence. Like any problem you give Kareem, he just takes it on with confidence, and he's never worried that he can't solve the problem. Absolutely, like the next film will be more probably, right now it's kind of in the martial arts world. It's a mix between like Class of 1984 meets Bloodsport meets Breakfast Club meets Riccio. It'll be very much in the same world as Hobo. We're just going to take it to the next level, hopefully. Oh man, I don't know. I haven't really thought of it like that. I haven't ever like set my sights on any actors that I would love to work with. Other than there's a Canadian actor back home I would love to work with named Stephen McCaddy, who's one of my favorite actors. He's a star of Pontypool. I would love for the opportunity to work with him. Yeah, there was lots of stuff. What can I tell you? The original opening to the film, the hobo rode into town, and it was night, and Slick and Ivan, and there was a third brother. They were kind of hanging out by the railroad tracks, kind of like the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West. And what they did is when the train stopped, Slick took a bag that was full of cats. He put another cat in the bag, tied it up, dumped gasoline all over it, lit it on fire, and Ivan and his other brother opened up the doors of the train and they whipped this bag of flaming cats into the train. And all these fireballs started flying everywhere, and all these hobos started jumping out of the train, and they were capturing them with nets. But the reality of the budget just would not allow. Tried so hard. I don't know. I would love to do another Hobo with a Shotgun. We have lots of Hobo with a Shotgun stories we'd love to tell, so if that opportunity ever came about, I would love to do it. It's also my dream to make a kids film that could inspire kids to get away from their computers and get outside and build tree forts and snow forts and make monster squads. I just would love to make a film to get kids pumped up in that sort of way again. It's been my hometown is just so supportive, and they're so excited. My mom saw the movie for the first time at Sundance. Me and Rugger sat right behind her, and it was so nerve-wracking. I grew up in a pretty hardcore Catholic home, and after the screening, I was like, "Mom, what did you think?" She was pretty much in shock, and she was like, "Jason, what was up with that Last Supper scene?" She's like, "Who was that hanging upside down?" Yeah, my poor mom.
Listen, a perfect FrightFest movie, you'll agree, and a wonderful FrightFest guest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.